G'day and welcome to episode number 64 of A Down Under Yarn. I am your host Fiona, also known as Fifykins. If you find someone on the internet called Fifykins, it's probably me. Today is Saturday the 29th of March 2014. I actually don't know if I've ever recorded on Saturday before, but I've had a really hectic week and just wanted to slot something in now. It's just gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon and I've been busy all morning and I'm about to be busy all evening and busy for most of tomorrow, so you get me now, as I am. I haven't had time to brush my hair or anything. So this is A Down Under Yarn. I am also the dyer behind Flair Fibres, so please feel free to check out both groups on Ravelry. Moving on to Administrati, we have our Knit a Hug, Knit Along happening at the moment, and that is designed for the months of March and April to knit a hug for someone for whom Mother's Day is a challenging time. So last year I initially thought it was going to be shawls or cowls or even fingerless mitts. Lots of other people have come up with other ideas as well. Softies, if they'd like to hand softies to someone. Cowls, shawls, mitts, hats, anything that you can give to someone for whom Mother's Day is probably going to be a challenge. Also this year I'm including preemie hats and baby hats for special care nurseries because they can also be seen as being hugs for parents. Up here in Cairns I'm supporting Cairns Butterfly, which is a newly established group which is producing kits, not just knitted items, but people who sew as well as sewing tiny blankets, and that because a lot of babies are delivered very early, and the babies don't necessarily have any chance for survival. But there's another group, and I've just forgotten the name of them, but they take photographs for parents, and the parents like to make sure that their babies are dressed nicely, I suppose. So some of the hats they're looking for are absolutely tiny, and really they want really stretchy ones as well, so they really suggest ribbed hats because they can stretch over a baby's head without damaging it. So that's that. End of March, which is on Monday, that next podcast I will draw a winner of the Flair Fibres I suppose knit along, quarterly knit along. That is for people who have crafted something out of using Flair Fibres. Post a photo of your finished object in that thread in the Flair Fibres group, and every quarter I draw a name and you win another skein of yarn. So there's quite a few entries in there, some beautiful items, really lovely. So really liking looking through those. If you wanted to head over and have a look, it's great to see so many people actually not just buying the yarn but using it. I think that's about it for Administratia. I don't actually have any notes with me today because this is all a bit of a so just have to bear with me, and I'm really sorry. Now, week that was, I haven't actually talked about the week that was. We had a homestay student with us from Japan. We have homestay students probably 4 or 5 times a year. This is our first homestay student this year, and this girl was really quiet. She was a sweetheart, absolute sweetheart, but it was very hard getting her to talk. And of course she doubted her English abilities, even though they were really good. I think there were a whole lot of phrases they'd learnt, like I'm full, or may I have a shower, I'm going to bed, good night, that sort of thing. But if you asked her something like I asked her sisters at university, asked her what she was studying, and she just sort of, she goes, oh, and I said, no, that's okay, that's fine, no need to worry. And I think a lot you can communicate with a smile, which is pretty true, especially with the homestay students we've had. So we've had that, and I suppose having an extra person in the house has meant extra running around. Imi's had exams this week, her block exams, and it's meant that she's finished school sometimes at 11 in the morning, and I've been able to go out and pick her up. And I think the most I went out to school this week was 5 times one day. It was meant to be 6, but it ended up only being 5 times. So it's just running around and being a taxi service, which is quite tiring. On top of that, I have been exceptionally tired, and we're still running more tests to find out why I'm so tired. Could be that I'm not sleeping enough. That's probably a pretty adequate reason, but still. We'll see what comes out of everything. What else? I think that's about it. Just, yeah, general stuff. So, on to the knitting. I have a finished object. I have a very, very special finished object. One of the other things that's been taking up a lot of my time this week is Red Pavilion. Now, Red Pavilion is a theatre group I'm involved with here in Cairns, and we started off 2 or 3 years ago. We put on a production of the Vagina Monologues, which is an Eve Ensler play or set of monologues, and that was a huge success. We raised several $1,000s for Ruth's Women's Shelter, which is our local women's shelter. And last year we put on just a review of a mixture of song and dance and monologues and a couple of little skits in there type thing. This year we're doing a very similar thing. We're calling it the gender card. I'm involved. I've got quite a powerful monologue addressing a teenage girl and talking about body image, and also I'm singing a political song. So that's a bit of fun, plus a couple of little other things that are thrown in here and there. So I've been really, really busy this morning. I was out, we do it at the university, and I was out there helping set the stage, set our pavilion up, because we call ourselves Red Pavilion, so we emerge from a pavilion type thing. And yeah, lots and lots of fun. The reason we're calling it the gender card is because women are often accused of playing the gender card. If we point out inequality, oh, you're just playing the gender card. There was an article in a newspaper here in the start of the year that talked about modern feminism. And it was written by a bloke who's very opinionated, who's just had legislation in the Parliament changed because he got convicted of bigotry last year. So apparently in Australia now it's okay to be a bigot. Because the government's changed the legislation. Just because you haven't experienced something yourself doesn't mean it's not there. But still, I digress. But his main argument was we should be stopping our children from watching Peppa Pig because Peppa Pig is a feminist and she is portraying feminist ideals onto our children. Hey, I quite like Peppa Pig. So our theme this year is the gender card. We're advertising with pigs. Of the Peppa variety and also of the non-chauvinistic variety. And because of that, we run a raffle both nights. We have 2 nights of performances, tonight and tomorrow night. And I have knit a Priscilla the Persnickety pig as a raffle prize. So this is the first one that I have finished. This is a Jenna Krupa pattern, who is Retro Lemon. And I really recommend you check out Jenna's podcast and all of her patterns. She does the most amazing softies, but she's also done some fantastic accessories. So there's a lovely shawl pattern she's got out there and a beautiful cowl. So, and socks now too. Jenna's just so talented. So this is Priscilla, the Persnickety pig. Now I knit this out of the Solar Flair Fibres Zoya thick base, which is an 8 to 10 ply sort of light worsted, DK light worsted base. And the thing about this is it's 2 plies of merino, 1 ply superwash merino, which gives it a beautiful tweedy effect. I love the way this is knit up, and it's showing it really well on the camera there. This is the pink colourway, which came out quite dark when I dyed it. And yeah, so this is one pig, which featured in our advertising this week. We were in the newspaper advertising it, so the pig featured quite prominently. It's a very famous pig with a gorgeous little curly tail. And this is going to be the raffle prize tonight. And then tomorrow night we have part of another pig, which I finished last night. I didn't actually stuff this one as much, I noticed after I'd done it. So this is still going to have its ears made and its feet made. You won't see this again because this will be finished for tomorrow night. So they're the sort of 1.5 pigs. Awesome pattern. I usually am not I find softies very fiddly, and I have never been very good at attaching limbs and things like that. There are some really good tips in the pattern about how to do them. I still haven't been, it's not perfect on the bottom. As you can see, the legs aren't straight, but she stands up quite nicely. You can't really see because it's just draped over my arm, but it's very, very cute. So I do like my pig, and it's already got a lot of interest, and people are coming along apparently just to see if they can win one of the raffle prizes, which is the pig. So that's kind of cute. That is one finished object, and that is probably a half-finished object. The feet and the ears probably won't take me very long. It's a pretty quick pattern to do, and out of the 100 grams, I've got fluff in here and everything. I've still got that much yarn left over. I haven't weighed it. Probably got enough to do another one, so I might actually do one for a friend who has just fallen in love with them. So we will see. And again, fantastic yarn to knit softies with the Zoya thick base. So there is still some of that in the shop if you are interested. Just try to get things organised. The other thing I have to show is a half-finished object, my skew socks. I've worked quite a bit on these this week. Just thought my other project, there it is up there. These are my skew socks. This is a free knitty pattern, there it goes up that way, in the most amazing rainbow yarn dyed by Nicole C. Mendez. I really recommend checking this out. This is a the skew socks are sort of knit on the diagonal. It is a free knitty pattern, and then the heel is an origami heel. The sad thing is that even though I've knit these on sport weight yarn at 2 sizes bigger needle than what is suggested, they still don't go over my ankle. So I'm still going to knit the second one. I really would like to get it finished by the end of the month to enter into the Bunnyfish Crafts podcast Knitty Knit Along, and of course the self-striping knit along as well for the stockinette zombies. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. Because I like the construction of them, I'm thinking I'm just going to enter them in the Ken show this year, because they are a bit different and because they're bright. Not that I'm expecting to win prizes with them, but still. I still have quite a bit of yarn left over, definitely enough to do a second sock, and enough for 1 or 2 little squares on my mitered square blanket, which I haven't actually touched now for almost 2 weeks. So I am behind on where I'd like to be on that. Something I will catch up with. Excuse me, I'm just going to lean over here and grab my third work in progress, which is the Geometrix Designs Mystery Knit Along. This is sort of a knitter who is the amazing Josh. Has a mystery pattern out at the moment. Clue 4 is out. I have, I think, almost finished Clue 3. I'm really close to finishing Clue 3. So here is my progress so far. Again, Solar Flair Fibres. I am using the Wala base, which is worsted weight, a light worsted weight base. You can see, I think I've got one more ridge of this beautiful yellowy, it's wattle colour, and then I have a bit of orange to go. Then there's Clue 4, which is out, which mimics the short rows up above, and then the 5th clue I think is due out tonight. So I'm hoping to have this finished by the 11th, which was Josh's cut off. Really loving it in the soft squishy worsted base as well. So that is something else I need to get a move on with. I have a test knit I've got to start. I've already said I'm going to knit the, I think it's the Hitfitude cardigan. There's a group of us who are doing a bit of a knit along with that. I've still got my low tide happening. I've still got my Zolden mystery shawl. I've got 2 clues to finish on that. I've got a second sock from a test knit I've been knitting on. I've got another test knit that I've been trying to finish up. I've got heaps and heaps of things, so I need to do all the knitting. I do have one acquisition this week. I've got 2. I did get my Ply magazine, but I haven't even had time to open it, so I won't show that this week. I did receive the most beautifully packaged, let me see if I can show you the paper. There we are, the Miss Babs tissue paper. I caught a Miss Babs update and caught her new base, which is the Kilimanjaro hand-painted 4-ply superwash BFL nylon yarn. This is approximately 1,750 yards or 14 ounces. So it is huge. And I really love that it's all in the one skein. This is the Canis Major colourway, which is a beautiful deep pink, sort of burgundy, maroni almost colour, which I really like. And I'm thinking I'm going to use this. I had some wool myes that I got last week. I'm thinking I'm going to use this for the Hitfitude cardigan because I won't have to alternate skeins. And it's a lacy pattern. I really don't like alternating skeins. Even though it's a cardigan and it's open and you can do it up one side, I think using the one skein would be really good. And this will have probably about 300 or 400 yards left over. And with the leftovers, I can do all sorts of things. Probably I would have enough for a pair of socks. Because it is a BFL nylon, I wouldn't mind using it for socks, or probably even enough for a shawl or something like that. Although I'll probably be sick of the colour by the end of it, and it will go back in stash for a bit. So again, really pleased with this. It's huge, and I can only imagine when I boil it up, it's going to be even bigger. That's going to be the same. Well, you know what I mean. So that is that. But it's, as you can see, it's as big as my head at the moment. There we are. very, very briefly, shop news, I had a bit of an update yesterday. I was able to put up some things that I hadn't put up last week. I've had no dyeing days this week. Last night, we saw some stars, and I thought, oh, tomorrow's going to be fantastic, and I've got to head out to JCU for 9 o'clock. I'm not going to have time in the morning to put any pots out. And I was going, there's been intermittent sunshine and not enough really for me to dye because the humidity is so high at the moment. If I leave stuff in for too long, I've seen the start of mould, and I don't want to risk that. I don't want to see any mould happening. So here is the stuff that went up yesterday. It is all in the Amaterasu base, which is the lace weight, which is 800 metres, I think, or 875 yards per 100 gram skeins. This is the Hi-Ho colourway. I really want to knit something in this lace weight, probably a shawl with some beads on it or something like that. I think it would just come, it's just so tonal and so beautiful. This is the Pink, which is quite a bit darker than usual, so I've called it Pink Dark. And you can see there it's got quite a bit of depth of colour as well, which I'm really happy with. The other one, which has come up darker as well on this base, and I think it's just this base and the way that silk takes up the dye and the merino combined. This is the Sea Glass colourway. Now it's actually a bit greener than what is appearing on screen, and there are spots, so for instance in here and around here, that look more like, I'm trying to see, there we are. No, it's not even, that's more grey. It's having trouble picking up the colour anyway. Again, this would be really beautiful. I'm wanting to knit a Bonnie, which is knit out of lace weight, and I'm trying to work out if I want it in Sea Glass or if I want it in the Eyes Have It, which is the blue. I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Eyes Have It because I'll only need one skein of this. So really hoping to have that knit up for the Zombie Knit Apocalypse. I've rushed through everything because I've had to get things going. I've still got to get stuff ready for tonight, go and have a shower and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure what show notes I'm going to be able to get up this week as well, so I'm just hoping to just hit publish and just go. So until next week, when I'm hoping to record back to Wednesday, Thursday, and hopefully I'll have some finished objects. I'll have my socks finished, and you won't see the second pig, but that will be finished, and all sorts of other stuff. And I have been doing a bit of spinning, but I haven't got it here. It's just down here, but there's not a lot to show. So I'll have at least one bobbin finished, I hope, by whenever it is that I record next. Until then, I will say, Uru, cheers, bye.